So talk about like that first conversation, Sorelle. What were you trying to find out? What did you like? Walk us through like what that looked like, and then the whole process for you,
Hmm.
like going through that and getting Bree and her partner settled up here, or at least just looking.
Yeah. So anytime I have an initial meeting with a client, my primary goal is just to get to know them. Like, I just want to get to know each other. I want them to get to know me and get to know my mom. Now that we're working together more, I want to get to know them. What are their hobbies? What's their lifestyle like? What do they like to do? What's most important to them in a house? And get to know kind of like what are their biggest fears or questions, what are
Mm,
the hurdles that they could
mm,
foresee or things that they're worried about. And then I just want to gather as much information as I can. So it's just a lot of like asking them a lot of questions. What's their timeline? What's their current situation if they're renting? When does their lease end? Like, we try to do a lot of listening and then asking questions. And oftentimes that'll lead to talking a little bit more about the process, diving into some of the more technicalities. But from there, I go into those meetings thinking, we're seeing if we're a good fit, right? Like, I'm not
mm.
going in there assuming that you're gonna hire me, and we need to make sure that it's a good fit going both ways. And so then if we do feel that way, I'll send, follow-up information. And then we do a meeting to kind of actually dive into the process and what it looks like. So that's like a home buying educational Zoom. And that's not for every
Yeah.
buyer, but with first time buyers, I definitely do that every time. So I think
Okay.
we scheduled that. We waited a couple months to do that because they
Mhm.
they were very proactive. I really appreciate when buyers are this way. Bree and Jack, she reached out a year before their lease was ending. And
Oh
so
wow.
we met in January and then their lease was ending in October, right, Bree?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we knew, okay, they found their realtor, they liked us, they wanted to work with us. We could kind of keep an eye on the market and keep an eye on homes that might be a good fit. We got them set up with a lender who works with VA loans,
Mm,
and he lives and works in the area and he's awesome. So we connected them with him and said, this is your first step. Like, talk to him, see where you're at now so that you can get a feel for what your monthly payment might be. And then we kind of just followed up every few months. And then they really dove into the search in June. So it was like 6 months before we really started the
mm.
search.
Wow. So Bree, like
Yeah.
when you hear all that, like for us, like I can like when I hear that process, it's so familiar to me. What was something that was unfamiliar, like going into that meeting or that first one? What were some of the fears that you had about that process, and what was something after you sat down that you went in thinking you knew but didn't know at all? Is there anything like that just surprised you and you just were thrown off a little bit, or is it all just kind of like, yep, I already know all this?
Um, I think honestly everything is very new to me. I grew up in my parents owned homes early on in my childhood, but after that we lived in apartments. So this whole process wasn't something I was really educated on. So every time we did
Mm,
get to speak, it was really just like digesting a lot of information. I think if anything, we got more excited about the process just
yeah.
because Sorrel was able to answer those questions of like those, I don't know, I couldn't really remember those specific questions, but there was a lot of little ones that Sorrel was able to like, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll pivot here. And so after having all of those responses, I felt more confident, honestly, in
Mm.
buying a house.
Yeah, I imagine that's probably what a lot of people feel going into that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Probably. Just a
Yeah.
guess.